What's up, everyone? We're taking another look at one of the Marvel Legends X-Men series Juggernaut Wave figures. Today we're taking a look at Iceman from Hasbro. Alright, so here's our Iceman figure, and again, like with the others, I'm not going to do packaging. I don't have it, so we're just going to go into the figure. And this guy has to be my least favorite figure in this entire wave, and I was honestly really excited for him because I love Iceman as a character, especially, the more recent Iceman from the past 10 years or so, where they've really kind of beefed him up, and he's one of the strongest mutants that can possibly exist just due to the nature of his powers. So I'm a big fan of the character. I think this figure is kind of executed a little bit poorly, and it comes down mostly to, one, the lack of accessories and the type of plastic used. So there's little chance that this guy is going to always stand up. I'll be lucky if he stands the entire time I do this review. So let's take a look at him real quick. And obviously right off the bat, you can see that he is molded in a kind of a cloudy, translucent plastic. So he does look very ice-like. So I like the look of the character. I think they got that down pretty well. They've kind of sculpted him a bit in a way where he's more of a recent style, to where he has kind of the spikes coming out of his back. And though that's a removable piece, you can pop that off. And then he's got kind of the spiky hair that's molded to look like, like ice cube type hair. But as far as, let's go over articulation real quick. So as far as that goes, we've got the head is on a ball and it hinges. You can get him to look pretty much all over. There's a butterfly joint for the arms, which is welcome for the figure. I don't think it's really needed for him. It was needed for Wolverine for sure, but I don't find myself needing it here. We've got, bicep swivel. We've got a hinge, so he can put his arms out about that far, and joints, at least on the shoulders, are pretty tight for mine. We've got a double jointed elbow. We've got swivel and a hinge at the wrist, and then we've got a open palm, kind of like projectile type hand, which would have been nice if he had a projectile, but he doesn't. The other hand is a closed fist, and you can see they both got kind of like ice crystals or shards coming out of the backs of them. The ab crunch goes back about that far, forward pretty far, back not so much, and it ratchets into place pretty well. He is a bit loose though. You can see him kind of bobble a bit. We have waist swivel, but it's one of those where, if you turn him, he's going to look goofy. So you've got to kind of play with it to get him just right. Legs go out about that far. Forward goes, they go all over, and that's the nature of the joint and how it's put in there. So he can go all over. It's kind of a swivel, so you can get those legs going any which way. Thigh cut, mine is pretty tight though. This thing has been in the basement, so it's really cold. It's no pun intended there. So the joints are kind of tight on those thigh cuts, but they do swivel. We've got double jointed knees, so they go all the way back. We've got a hinge and then a rocker at the ankle. So articulation is pretty nice on this guy. The issue though is just how gummy this kind of plastic is. So this rubbery style translucent type plastic is always a little gummier than any of the other types of plastic you're going to find. So he is going to be inherently loose, and the chances of him standing up all the time I found are pretty slim. He's doing pretty well right now, so I'm not, it could be the nature of the fact that the figure is cold, but you can see that he's got just a little bit of like wobble to him. And then the butterfly joints on the arms are kind of loose. I didn't realize this at first, but they seem looser than I expected them to be. Beyond that though, articulation wise, pretty solid. Sculpt, I like the sculpt. I just don't like this plastic, and it's more down to stability than anything else. I think he looks good. There's really no paint on him. There is some kind of metallic type paint for the eyes, but that's it. There's nothing else on this figure, unless you count the stamping on the back for its serial number. But other than that, I like the look of him. I like his articulation. I don't like some of the looseness, but that's down to the type of plastic we've got. And I feel like, honestly, he looks a little small. He looks, I don't know, he's really, really thin. And I know Iceman's not a big character by any means, but he just looks a little too small for my taste. And, he's kind of insubstantial compared to some of the other characters. And in that same regard, he comes with no accessories. He doesn't have any other parts. So we just get the figure. You could count the little ice things on the back, but why would you do that? I'm not going to count that. And he comes with a Build-A-Figure piece, which I'm not going to go over here. That's for the Juggernaut review. So, you know, that doesn't count either because it's not an accessory for him. It's just another piece of plastic that he comes with. So this is what you see is what you get here. That's it. There's nothing else to him. That coupled with the kind of instability that he can have at times kind of makes this figure a little lackluster. And he's not the only figure that doesn't come with, you know, accessories. But he could have come with something. Obviously, he couldn't have come with one of their generic blast effects like they give every single character, and I absolutely hate those things. But, you know, something, a little, hell, give him a snowball would have been nice, but they chose to go another route here. So, you know, I do like some things about this character. I don't think he's a very good figure, though. Just the instability of him, the lack of paint apps. But again, I do like the look, so that's kind of a wash there. I don't think he necessarily needs paint apps on him, but you know, because he looks like ice, so he looks correct. I'm not complaining about the look. I just think there could be more to him. He's not, you know, there's not a lot there. So definitely my least favorite in the wave, but I do like some things about it. So overall, you know, I got him because I wanted the entire wave. But if I had, you know, cherry picked this line, I don't think I would have bought him. I would have just got the Build-A-Figure piece elsewhere. So I think that probably says enough that I wouldn't have bought him otherwise. So that's going to do it for this review, everyone. As always, stay tuned to Toybro for more reviews. We're gonna run through this whole X-Men wave and get to Juggernaut and go over him real soon. So feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And until next time.